University Network TV, where we scan the globe to give students, their families, and educators the very best tips for student success. I'm your host today, Dr. Crystal Rose, and in this college admissions video, we're exploring college admissions series about sports in college, 10 things most high school students may not know about playing sports in college, part 2. If you're a high school athlete and you intend to play sports in college, this is for you. For this series, we've invited April Paris-Joseph of Paris Educational Solutions to explore this topic. Welcome back, April.
Hi, Crystal. How are you doing today?
Thank you so much, April, for this very important conversation today. So is it a decision students need to make between whether they want to be a student athlete or an athlete student?
I encourage you to prioritize your academics and your future career and shoot for the moon. I have a child who actually is playing professionally. So I get the dream and I get that it can happen, but that same child also has an education to fall back on. He did not go to college yet, but he could go to college. He knows that that is a path that he could set himself on easily, and then he would then go into his other career. But his decision was chase now, education later, and he has a great foundation through his high school. I fear for the kids who believe they're going into the NFL, believe they're going into the NBA, that aren't prioritizing their academics, and then an ACL tears, or they get that particular kind of ankle fracture that means you'll never be able to pivot on the court the way you used to. So these kinds of career-ending injuries happen, and I want them to be prepared for that.
What are some of the mantras you like to use with your students, with your family?
We have lots of mantras in my house, and I pick on my own children because they're great models for this stuff. But one of the mantras I used to tell my boys when they were in high school was, I love your swagger. And I tell my current students this too. I love your swagger. Have your swagger. Your swagger is great. But you know what? Your brain will feed you when you're 50. So let's make sure that's in order, because your swagger is going to go away and you will develop the dad gut just like everybody else.
So what type of funding or financial aid do Division I schools offer?
Division I offers athletic scholarships. That's the big thing there. Not every league in Division I offers athletic scholarships. That's something people seem to not want to talk about. So when your buddy posts that he got a full athletic scholarship to Yale, it's just not true. He may have gotten full financial money at Yale. That's entirely possible. Yale has great financial aid that is entirely need-based. So the Ivy League, there's no athletic money there. It is Division I. So the big thing about D1, again, athletic scholarships are available.
Okay, we know about Division I. What about Division II? Are athletic scholarships available for students in Division II schools?
People kind of forget about D2. There's some great schools in that division that are also both very academic and very athletic. So they're definitely worth looking at and paying attention to.
Now I'd like to explore Division III schools. Are there athletic scholarships available for students in Division III schools?
Division III, there are no athletic scholarships.
Now, I'd like to follow up about a question regarding the Nevada Interscholastic Activities Association, the so-called NAIA League. What type of funding do they offer, since we know they have such great schools as well?
The NAIA offers both athletic and academic scholarships for their athletes. So I just think people don't think about it. That's my thing with the NAIA. We don't think about it. There's some great schools in the NAIA with a lot of good opportunities. And I encourage all of my athletes to look across the 4 bands when they're creating their initial list, and to not get fixated on any one for any particular reason, because what you're really looking for is the full package that works for you: the academics, the social, the financial, and the athletic. And you can find that anywhere.
In which of the divisions may students find merit money?
2 things that I'll say about that. Merit money for academics are available, generally speaking, across all divisions. Some schools just don't do merit money. across all divisions.
Do Ivy Leagues offer merit money?
Ivies won't do merit money. Most of the schools in the D3 NESCAC League will not do merit money. Wesleyan has a little bit, Trinity a little bit, but nothing much to speak of in terms of merit.
Now, I'd like to ask you about something. What do you call the sneaky money?
Officially, Division III never has any athletic money, but they do have a lovely thing they call leadership scholarships. And merit is a great loose term that schools will use to meet whatever priority their institution has where they want to place money. So, kids, athletes, there's a reason we put student before athlete. There's a reason that student comes first. We generally go alphabetical, right? You'd think we'd call it athlete student based on the alphabetical, but no, we're student athlete. The better your grades are, the more opportunities you create for yourself, the easier you make it for admissions to accept you into a program where you want to go be an athlete and a student, and the better opportunity you give them to offer some sort of financial package that works for your family.
The priority of one sport may differ depending upon the college. Can you walk us through why this matters, especially if a student loves a sport and just wants to play?
We love this in college counseling and college admissions. We love to tell everyone it depends. And this is another one of those. It depends. What's the difference going to be between where you are now in high school and where you're going to be? Well, that depends. What's your experience like now? And where are you projecting yourself to go? So a lot of this is about students doing the research and asking all of the right questions and the hard questions. So if you go to a high school that has no football team, then some other sport is king. Maybe it's basketball, maybe it's soccer. But what you want to know when you go to your college, what sport is king? Where does my sport fall into the priority list? How popular is it to come to the games and to cheer? I had a student who rejected multiple colleges because the field was too far from main campus. And this particular student was like, no one's coming to cheer for me. I thought, this is not the priority, but for this student, it was like, no. I need to get my swagger up and at everything, my games. So no, it's not the most important thing. I think I come down over and over again on the academics first.
Does this have a lot to do with the student's college research process?
So how's that going to fall? How much time? How much time does this coach expect you to spend training in and out of season?
I'd like to break down the expectations for these student athletes in the various divisions. Now, in Division 1, what are the expectations for students in terms of training?
As a rule, and everything changes, so ask questions, find out your specific. Division 1 is going to be basically a year-round expectation.
What are the expectations for student athletes in the D2 divisions?
Division 2, likely also.
What are the expectations of a student athlete in the D3 division?
And Division 3, even when we're off, we have off season and we're not helping you train, those coaches expect you to keep up your fitness and to keep up your skill level. There is definitely, you don't get to come back like nothing, like you haven't done anything. Every summer, my kids as student athletes trained all summer long. And they were in the weight room and they were doing their speed work and they were doing these things, and it was off season. So know what you're getting into.
That is really important to understand the expectations and the differences of the priorities of the sports at respective colleges and divisions. That's great. Thank you so much, April, for this very important conversation today.
Thanks.
And to our audience, thank you very much for joining us for this episode of the University Network's television show, Para's Educational Solution. Now, with April's advice, hopefully you'll be more informed about how to pursue sports in college. Here's to your success. I'm your host, Dr. Crystal Rose. Until next time on TUN TV.